But yeah, as far as games that you played a lot of, nothing really stands out for me for the GameCube and the Wii more than Super Smash Brothers.
I was wondering where that was.
That was a game that we played a lot of, but unlike Rage Wars, with Super Smash Bros. Melee especially, it was like we would get together just to play that game. That was some friends from high school. Luke was among them. He still plays it, as far as I know. He may not play it as much because we tried to play it together on the Nintendo Wii when Brawl came out with the online thing, because he lives in Washington now. Their online service is so bad for that game that it's not good for a fighting game. It's really not.
It was bad for most of their games.
Yeah, I didn't try it, but I heard that Mario Kart Wii wasn't that bad. But I think it's largely because it's a racing game, and Mario Kart has kind of devolved itself into being less about strategy and more about the items. So, but yeah, Smash Brothers, that's probably, I probably should have named that one first, to be honest, because...
That's okay. I mentioned Sim Ant, and there's some others on here that has a lot more time on it than it, so...
But yeah, Smash Brothers, particularly Melee, not so much Brawl. I didn't like Brawl as much. I like the game, don't get me wrong. I love Brawl, but I prefer Melee.
Even the Smash Brothers community agrees with you there.
Yeah, I didn't like the stupid slipping thing. It's like they're taking Super Smash Brothers and turning it into Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what you got for us, Grover?
Well, I got two honorable mentions. I got Tetris Attack, which is another puzzle game that I love the music in the game, and it kind of relaxed me after I had a bad day in school or just before I go to sleep. The music was almost hypnotic. The game itself was really high-paced puzzles. I would just be moving my hands so fast that sometimes you would hear the cartilage on my fingers popping and stuff. I mean, my parents actually got worried. They were worried I was going to break my fingers from moving my hands, playing so fast.
These games are too violent.
Or have a seizure from how fast everything was moving on the screen. When you show the videos, show one where somebody's just going insane. It's just unreal how fast you can move in that game once you get really good. My second honorable mention, and arguably to me one of the hardest RPGs I ever played, even more than Phantasy Star, which is just amazingly hard, is Seventh Saga. The funny thing is, I only beat it once, but I played this game easily 600 plus hours. This game is a torturous bastard, and this is no exaggeration. If you're not prepared, this game will eat you alive every single step forward. And it only gets harder at the end. It's actually one of the few games that I actually had to restart because I got too far and went to the past area and wasn't high enough to fight the new monsters and was forced to restart the entire game. Back then, 80 hours plus I lost and had to do again.
Oh, wow. I stopped playing games for things like that.
There's nothing I could say to explain that this game is just hard. There's nothing easy about the game. It just seems like the monsters are constantly unfairly strong, especially once you get to the past. I think I could do one more. Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh, I love
that game. I love that game, and I never beat it. I got to the last level a couple times, and we always got stomped. And yes, this is us playing multiplayer. We would still get stomped. It's just a hard game, but it's just hilarious, too. The game's so comical while you're playing, especially with a humongous baby running around. I always love that level.
There's another channel on YouTube called Game Grumps with Ego Raptor and JonTron on it.
Yeah, I've seen them.
They did a Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and they didn't beat it either.
It's just harder than you imagine, and everybody thinks that the last level is when you're fighting that doctor. No, that's not the last level. I actually beat that. The last level is when you're running around during the credits.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't beat that level, you lose. And most people are like, oh, well, I won. No, you didn't. You got to beat the last level, which is running during the credits.
I never did get very far in it because it wasn't a game that me or any of my friends owned, but we did run it a few times. It was pretty fun.
It was very memorized. You just need to remember everything. As soon as you went to a level, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this.
But sadly, it can really suck the fun out of some games.
Yeah, that game, you basically knew if you were screwed in a level, if you heard one of the people scream, no! Which means, I screwed up.
And you did that so well. It sounded just like it.
It did.
Well, I have it burned to my memory from playing that so much.
I have such a long list. I'm a fighting game fanatic, and by that I mean I'm not particularly somebody who's good at them. I'm not bad. I've actually held my own on a lot of arcades, and I've beat many of them. It's just, if I were to actually go toe-to-toe with somebody even below tournament levels, I'd get creamed. I just don't have the dexterity and so on, and memorization of the moves, largely because I play too many of them. I don't specialize myself in any one of them. So I have lots of time spent on Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Soul Calibur and the various Smash Brothers, Battle Arena Toshinden 1 for the PlayStation. That was my first PlayStation game, that and Ridge Racer, and it got a lot of hours put into it. And Tekken 2 is probably one of the most played fighting games that I had, simply because I played it so much when I first got it. But no fighting game will top Street Fighter 2, as far as how much I've played it. And I don't mean just the different incarnations either. I mean the original Street Fighter 2, before the Hyper, before the Super, before any of that. It sold like hotcakes on the Super Nintendo, and it sold a lot of Super Nintendos. And I rented that for 2 weeks straight, and I played every minute of it that I could. Schoolwork and sleep, that was important stuff, but the rest of the time, I was on that console, and surprisingly enough, my parents actually let me do that. So those 2 weeks alone probably measures up a lot of hours, even before I actually bought Hyper Fighting and Super Street Fighter 2 for my Genesis, because I wanted a Nomad version of it, so I took it on the road quite a bit. Quote road, since I had to plug it in. Oh goodness, Chrono Trigger, I beat it with every single ending. Final Fantasy VI, aka Final Fantasy III, I played so many times. I think I beat it 3 times, plus Streets of Rage 2, Yuzo Koshiro, I love his music. It kind of shows in a lot of what I do, and it was probably the beat 'em up for me. I mean, there's a lot of people that have really fond memories of the arcade Turtles games, or Final Fight, or something like that. Streets of Rage 2. I played all of those too, tons. I beat them tons, but Streets of Rage 2. Disgaea. I've only beat it once, but anybody that plays Disgaea knows that you can keep going. You can keep leveling them until they're ridiculous. No other game in history that I know of levels as far as Disgaea can level. It's ridiculous. Secret of Mana. Need I say more? There's a lot of people that played that one to death, and I've played it almost all the time by myself. If I would have had multiplayer, it probably would have been even higher on my list. GoldenEye and Perfect Dark both, especially Perfect Dark, because once again, I didn't have so many people to play with, so the bots were a very fantastic, lovely addition. So Unreal Tournament, that was the same kind of thing. Spent so many hours on Herzog's Wii, and I cannot mention any FPS without mentioning Rainbow Six. I put tons of time on that one too. River City Ransom, going back there to the NES. So many hours on that. It probably goes neck and neck with Streets of Rage 2. River City Ransom had those RPG elements where you could level up your characters and buy them skills and stuff, so there's some differences there. Goodness. Soul Blazer. Most people have fond memories of Zelda. For some reason, the knockoff Soul Blazer is more true to my heart. It was a pseudo-spiritual sequel to the ActRaiser series, but it really wasn't. It was just tied into the character and the story in some bizarre way. But the elements to it, it just felt really right. But I played that to death. I probably beat it 5, 6, 7 times, and it's not a short game. Shining Force 1 and 2. If I were to pick an RPG I put the most time in, it'd definitely be those two. Shining Force 1 more than Shining Force 2, because 2 was a rental. Shining Force 1 I owned, and it was like a prized possession. Because I had rented it a couple of times beforehand, I'd finally decided there's no way I'm going to continue renting this the way I have been, I'm buying it. And the first copy got lost in the mail, so I had to wait 8 to 12 weeks for me to finally get that copy. And when I did, I have done pretty much everything I can imagine. I've gotten the secret costumes, I've beaten the game several times over, I tried to use as few characters as possible, I tried to get everybody to as high levels as possible. It was kind of like Rover was saying about Final Fantasy VII. I did everything I think I could do to that game. And I'd probably still turn around and play it again because, once again, it's a Genesis title, so it went on my Nomad. And you know what? I think I should just stop there. That's a good list, and I've hammered on about several different games that I did just literally name the names off of. So I hope that's kind of an insightful look at our past with video games, if nothing else. And maybe you'll try out some of these games for yourself that you might have passed by not considering so much. Yeah, I didn't say that right, but welcome to the job. See, I'm the blunderbuss of podcasts. I told you it makes sense. My brain just scatters, and it takes a long time to load. Anyway, so that's our show for October 14th, 2012. PrinnyCast episode 6. I'm saying that in completely different order. We didn't get lightninged out. It's been quiet outside. I haven't heard a thunder this entire time.
You haven't either. Crazy, because it was going pretty strong.
Now, it may still be up in Grover's neck of the woods. I'm not sure.
It's good.
It's good. So we hope you come back next week for our episode 7. It's hard to believe it's been over a month now that we've been doing this. I don't know if we're getting better or not, but I think the show is improving little by little.
I agree.
Yes, I hope.
If we didn't mention the game that you played the holy hell out of, go ahead and mention it in the comments.
Tell us what you think about it. Let me know how bad Rage Wars really is.
So join us next week as we get into another topic that we haven't quite decided yet. This was kind of a spur of the moment. It's been a crazy busy week. Next week's going to be a crazy busy week. But what we do know is the week after that, October 27th, we're going to do a special on scary games just in time for Halloween. So look forward to that one. Remember to check us out on at PrinnyCast on Twitter. And for some reason don't want to comment and would rather contact us privately, feel free to send us a private message through YouTube or to contact us at prinnycast@gmail.com. What's a really clever way of saying bye that we can all do?
We can just all say what's on our mind for the end of the show.
Say bye.
Later, dudes!
See you later.
See you guys next week.
I played the crap ton. That didn't make any sense. Let me redo that. The crap ton.